Hello children, the topic for today is a poem titled The Shed, prescribed in CBSE for class 7, Honeycomb. Before going the detailed explanation of the poem, let us know something about the poet. The poet of this particular poem is Flynn. He was an Australian doctor, author, and missionary priest born on 6th December 1906 in Sydney. He died in 29th July in 2000. Some of his notable works are Distant Horizon, Northern Gateway, The Living Heart, Northern Frontier, etc. So, without any further delay, let's move into the poem. The Shed. Let's look into the title at first. What do you mean by the shed? The word shed means small isolated room or a place that is used for keeping animals, things, tools, vehicles, etc. It's a small room away from the house. Have you heard a cow shed, a tool shed, a wood shed, etc.? In this poem, we are going to talk about a shed, its location, its ambience, and the mystery behind this creepy place. We will see how the poet makes us acquainted with the place, the feeling which he goes through when he passes by it, as well as the story about the shed which his brother tells him to keep the poet away from the place. So, next, unfold the mystery. The shed. There is a shed at the bottom of our garden, with a spider's web hanging across the door. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. When I am in bed, I lie and I listen. I'll open that door one day. In this first stanza, the poet talks about a shed located at the bottom of their garden, or we can say the shed is located away from their main house, somewhere at the end of the garden. A spider's web is seen across the door of the shed. When the wind blows, a creaking sound is created by the rusty hinges present in the door. What is the meaning of the hinges or rusty? Hinges means a movable joint or mechanism on which a door, gate or lid swings as it opens and closes, or which connects linked objects. Hinges, door hinges. Okay. Rusty means it's affected by rust, a rusty hinge. Rust means what? Rust is a reddish or yellowish brown flaking coating of iron oxide that is formed on iron or steel by oxidation, especially in the presence of moisture. See the picture, then you will understand easily. Okay. Anyway, a creaking sound is created by the rusty hinges present in the door. By all these descriptions given by the poet about the shed points out at one thing, that is, the shed was not visited for the long time. It was in the worst condition. The doors, the hinges were all rusty, and the spider's web was also present. And all these things were observed by the poet as he lay on his bed. On listening to the creaking sound by the door, the poet decided to open the door one day, and he wanted to witness everything inside the shed by himself. The mystery is building up, isn't it? Let's see what's next. There is a dusty old window around at the side with 3 cracked panes of glass. I often think there is someone staring at me. Each time that I pass, I'll peep through that window one day. In the second stanza, the poet talks about the old dusty windows of the shed. He says that the glass windows of the shed are all broken and cracked. What's the meaning of cracked? Cracked means damaged. Okay. And each time he passes by the window, he feels someone is staring or looking at the poet from inside. Staring means gazing or glaring, looking fixedly at someone with eyes wide open, staring. Okay. So, but still he gains courage and says he would peep or look through the window one day. We find that in the first two stanzas, the poet creates a creepy and horrifying ambience all around the shed, isn't it? We find that the poet ends each stanza saying that he will visit the place or will peep through the window one day, which emphasizes the poet's courage and fearlessness. Okay, let's see the third stanza. My brother says there is a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floorboards, and if I ever dare to set foot inside, he will jump out and chop off my head. But I'll take a peek one day. In the third stanza, the mystery finally ends. The poet's brother comes up with the story behind the shed. His brother says that there was a ghost in the shed who had hidden itself under the decayed and rotten floor of the shed, and even warned the poet, and if the poet dared to enter the shed, the ghost would come out and chop off or cut his head, cut the poet's head. Listening to the story from his brother, the poet still with courage and fearlessness and says that he will surely peek and go inside the shed one day. He has courage to get into the shed. Okay. So, let's move into the next or last stanza of this poem. I know that there isn't really a ghost. My brother tells lies to keep the shed for his den. There isn't anyone staring or making strange noises, and the spider has been gone from his web since I don't know when. I'll go into that shed one day soon, but not just yet. In the last stanza, the poet confirms the ghost story which his brother said him is a lie. The poet believes that his brother lied to him just because he wants to stay away from the shed, as his brother used this shed as his den. Den means what? It's a hidden home. Okay, here it's a hidden home. That is to keep his personal things, and even the spider which used to make a noise vanished. So the poet realized the truth, and he could not be befooled by his brother anymore. He understood his brother was telling him lie because his brother wanted to use the shed as his own, as his den, a secret place. Okay. He wanted to visit the shed one day. He had that confidence to visit the place, but at the end he says that he's just waiting for the right time to come. Maybe the right time is when the poet grows up, because he is just a child right now. That is, he had written the whole poem from the perspective of a child. And once he grows up, he will surely visit the place. So, to sum up the poem, we find that the poet through this poem creates a creepy, horrific atmosphere, puts in a ghost story to make the mystery behind the shed reach its climax. Then, by denying the ghost story and bringing out his brother strict to stop him from going there, the poet portrays his own rationality, his own courage and fearlessness. So guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you all have understood the poem well. If you have any query regarding the poem, do let me know in the comment section below, and please don't forget to recite the poem. Okay? Thank you.